I spent the last 14 years in B2B marketing, 6 of those inside SaaS startups helping to build full funnel systems from scratch, growing pipeline, and turning customer stories into real revenue. Most businesses are wasting a ton of time doing things that don't actually move the needle. In this video, I'm going to explain exactly what does move the needle. By the end, you'll walk away with marketing techniques you can actually use and have a clear picture of what actually grows your business. The company that describes the problem wins, not the one with the best solution. You scroll past content all day that's technically relevant to you, but only some things stop you. Why? Most likely, it's because those things feel familiar. It mirrors something that's happening in your everyday life. C.S. Lewis had this great line about friendship, and it starts when someone goes, "You too? I thought I was the only one." When someone describes your exact situation back to you, you stop. You lean in. You start to trust them, not because they had the best product, but because they made you feel less alone in the problem. Here's the thing though, you can't just say, "Are you feeling frustrated?" "Me too." It's the specificity in the emotion and a story that actually draws you in. The sad truth is that most B2B companies tend to get this specificity wrong. They'll tell you the platform has 14 integrations and AI-powered analytics and 99.9% blah, blah, blah. It sounds like a spec sheet. And the spec sheets, they don't make people feel anything. Now flip it. Imagine a company that says, you're in your Monday pipeline review. Half your deals went dark over the weekend. Your VP is pulling up the spreadsheet that hasn't been updated since Thursday. It makes you feel something. Same company, same product, but a totally different feeling. The first one is specific about them. The second one is specific about you. Specificity in the product feels like a sales pitch. It feels cold, but specificity in the problem feels like empathy and connection. And buyers don't give their budget to the company with the best feature list. They give it to the company that makes them feel understood, that makes them feel that they can solve their problem because they know it so well. So before you rewrite your homepage and redo your pitch deck or launch another campaign, ask yourself one question. Can you describe your buyer's problem better than they can? Not a solution, not a differentiator, the problem, the specific, ugly, Tuesday at 3 p.m. version of whatever they're feeling, because the person that can own the problem owns the deal. Most B2B content gets engagement, but no leads because it targets the wrong stage of the funnel. Most B2B content is built for people who are already aware of the problem and close to a decision. That's a tiny percentage of your total addressable market. The rest of your buyers, they're not even searching it. They may not even be aware that there's a solution to their problem. They may not even be aware that there's an actual problem. Think about a party. There's always somebody at the party who's going around and just jumps straight to the point, handing out their business card and telling them what they do and all about their services. And then there's the other guy. He's across the room and he's listening, he's engaged, he's having real conversations and making real connections. In B2B content, most of our content is like the first guy. It's built for people who are already looking. Product comparisons, demos, feature breakdowns. That stuff only works for about 3% of the market that's actively shopping for you right now. But what about the other 97% that's searching, scrolling, exploring? Top of the funnel content is how you become the most interesting person in the room. It's not about the product, it's about the world that the buyers are living in. When people see content that reflects their daily lives, they start to listen, they start to follow, and they start to remember you. And when the moment comes, when that pain point or that frustration gets bad enough that they're gonna do something about it, or when budgets open up, you're gonna be the first person they think of. And when their boss finally says, "We need to fix this," you're already the name at the top of the list. Many B2B marketing teams are skipping top of the funnel content. And the reason is because it's hard to track. 5 years ago, we could track ebook downloads or traffic to your website, but a lot of top of the funnel content is moving to unowned platforms that you don't have access to the analytics. And it's really hard to draw the through line between saw your piece of content and became a customer. But that doesn't mean that your content marketing isn't working or your top of the funnel is broken. It just means that you can't quite track it yet inside a dashboard. Here's the takeaway. Map your content to where your buyer actually is and not where you want them to be. Most of them are not ready to buy, but they will be, and you want to be the name that they already know when that moment arrives. Most B2B companies have happy customers, but no system to capture their stories. Here's my hot take. Customer stories are your most underused asset in your B2B marketing strategy. Many B2B teams have amazing customer stories, but they really struggle to capture those stories and use them effectively. And the real reason usually comes down to not having a system. Or on the flip side, they have a system that's too generic and buries the stories in PDFs that no one's ever gonna read. Meanwhile, in D2C, they've turned customers into influencers, leveraging micro-influencers to talk about the product. And they're selling the product at every stage of the funnel. Now, go look at a D2C brand that's winning right now. Their product pages, their social media, it's covered with real videos, real people, real stories, totally unpolished and unscripted. Their ads aren't studio shoots. They're a customer holding up the product and talking about what they like. They put it everywhere too. It's in their ads, their landing pages, their emails, and social retargeting. It's not a testimonial page that you have to go find. It's the entire marketing engine. Now go look at a B2B brand. You've got your logo wall up top. You have 2 sentences from a VP that legal, highly edited. You have case studies all the way at the bottom in a PDF that no one's gonna find. And the gap isn't that B2B is less enthusiastic or less emotional. The gap is that nobody's capturing it in the right way. D2C brands have learned that customer stories that talk about skepticism and feel raw and authentic and tell us why they almost didn't buy the product, those stories are compelling and captivating more than any marketing creative could ever be. Here's the thing, B2B marketing teams have the same opportunity as D2C ones. And arguably, it's a bigger opportunity because the stakes are higher and the buying committees, they're bigger. And that peer proof and those stories carry more weight. Here's the thing, you have to capture the authentic story, the real triggers, the buying moments, the pain points. Those authentic pieces of information are what B2B companies are sitting on and they're doing nothing with. That's the real gold. D2C didn't get here by accident. They built a machine around customer stories. They're not asking for a testimonial once a year. They're constantly capturing, clipping, repurposing, and distributing these customer stories across their channels. B2B can do the same thing. One real customer conversation gives you a story for your website, clips for social, language for your sales team, and proof for all of your landing pages, and a case study that actually sounds like a human wrote it. But it only works if you treat it as a system, not a checkbox. Stop asking for quotes, start capturing the full story, because your competitor's best marketing asset isn't their product, it's their customers talking about their product, about how it changed their life. And if you're not doing that, someone in your space actually is. And by the way, this is exactly what we do. If you feel like you are not getting the most of your customer stories, check the first link in the description to see if we can help you. Internal teams write about features, capabilities, and integrations, but buyers think in problems, frustrations, and outcomes that they want. There's always a gap between how a company describes itself and how its best customer would describe the problem that they solved. At bigger companies, there's a role called a product marketing manager. Their entire job is sitting between the product team and the marketing team to translate what the company is building and the product to how buyers actually think and what they care about. They run interviews, they test messaging, they build personas. Companies pay 6 figures for this role because the gap between internal language and buyer language is expensive to close. If you're a growing startup, chances are you don't have a PMM on your team, but that doesn't mean that the problem doesn't exist. It actually means your problem is probably wider than you think it is because no one is watching and monitoring that gap. The good news is that the fastest way to close that gap doesn't cost 6 figures. All you have to do is go talk to your customers. Ask what solutions they tried before they found you. Ask them how they described the problem. Ask them how things feel now that they resolved the issue. Here's the thing, your buyers are telling you exactly how to market to them. You just have to capture it. The best performing messaging in B2B marketing always sounds like it came from the customer and not the marketing team. By the time someone books a demo or fills out a form, they've already done their research. They've read through your website, looked you up on LinkedIn and G2, and searched through customer reviews. They're checking all the boxes. The sales call is not where you're building trust. It's where they're confirming everything that they already believe to be true based on your marketing. And that means your marketing has to be doing the trust building before the conversation even starts. So here's a quick test. Go to your website right now. Read your hero copy out loud. Now call your best customer and ask them to describe what you do. Those 2 descriptions will barely sound like the same company. Your website probably says, "We provide an end-to-end platform for revenue optimization." Probably some speed or system language in there. Your customer says, "Honestly, I'm drowning in spreadsheets and now I'm not." When a buyer is doing their research on you, which one are they finding? Because that's the version they're going to use to decide if they want to work with you or not, to decide if they trust you. The companies that are winning deals are the ones that are showing up where their buyers are with the proof and the credibility and the real customer voices. When buyers get on calls where that trust is already built, Your sales cycle shortens and your conversions go up. Your marketing is actually your first sales conversation, and it's happening without you even in the room. You need to make sure that what buyers find when they go looking for you is what you actually want them to hear. You already have customers that would tell your story if you ask them. You don't need a big budget and you don't need a content team. You just need a system. And if this resonated with you and you're curious whether this could work inside your business, check the link in the description to book a call, and we can walk you through exactly how we can help you. And if this was useful, feel free to hit the subscribe button. We have a lot more content coming your way. I'll see you then. Bye.